gets angry, but sure can get scared. With anime on his side, is always prepared. Even though he's the grumpiest of bears, this bear is always cool in his chair. Till the end, his dreams always beware. Cause he coming after you and hopes you'll be there. So hope you'll have a good day, a good night, and as always, have a good life. Much love. Good night, good night, good night, good night. Much love. Good night. Have a good night, good life. Grumpy Bear has always been there, even when life isn't fair, even when no one is there. He's thinking of you with love and care. Even if he's safe like I care, he still give you a big hug with love and hair. With his kind words, he's never afraid to share, giving you that good bear stare. Even his king, so beware, cause every weekend at 6:30 is bound to be there. Stream setting in his chair on every platform that he can share. Just as long as he knows you'll be there.
Alrighty then.
Pull this YouTube up to make sure that we're.
Wow, the little thing's going off and you're not echoing this week, so let's hope that's better.
Yeah, let's.
Last week was all kinds of fuckery. YouTube won't like that because I swear in the last 10 seconds of the video. At least I don't think it's 10 seconds. No, it's like we're at a minute and so in.
I'm checking my audio. I'm silent.
You're silent? I see your little thing going up and down.
I'm looking at the YouTube right now, and I can, but I can't hear me at all.
What is this? Oh, please don't do that.
I'm gonna try to turn up YouTube and talk and see if it's just my level of my voice.
Gotcha. All right, while you're doing that, I'm gonna.
Hello. So yeah, it is purely.
How about this?
I'm gonna bring my mic closer, and see what that does. All right, so let's see if that works. Yeah, so now that's better even at lower levels, but it's still a little soft.
All right, I turned you up to a 20, so let's hope that works out.
Okay.
Oh, you're peaking.
Okay. It sounds good on YouTube right now. So.
All right, we'll go with that. Okay, thank you for joining us this week. Sorry, we always had a little last minute second because we never know what's going to happen until we press the go live button. That's a problem with streaming. You think everything's going, everything looks good on your end, even if I mess up some week and don't pay attention to it, and then you go live, and it's like, yeah, let's mess up something now. Which, by the way, it's now every single time I open OBS and I press the go live button, the whole window movement thing with the it not fitting within the given windows or monitor it's on, it always expands past the boundaries of its scope and never stays within the boundaries. But as soon as I'm off stream, it goes back in perfect fit of the monitor from which
I'm telling you, it's not. It is literally OBS.
Doing some wonky.
There's some setting in your OBS because I'm running 11 and OBS, and mine doesn't do that.
Do you do it in portrait mode?
Rix has correctly joined the channel.
Let me look.
Because mine's in portrait mode, so that's like I'm thinking maybe it's portrait mode is doing the little wonky thing, as if like it's trying to scale something so I can see better or something in portrait mode. Because I don't have it in landscape because I like to see the chat, in a long format, and I can see everything from top to bottom. I should probably try one day and see if I can put it in put it back in landscape and see if I can adjust the windows so I can actually see everything. But that's not here or there. We usually do this every Friday at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, Eastern Time, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, how far west you or east you are, and the opposite direction, 4 or 3, depending on how far west you are. So if you are interested, be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the comment down below. No Barely There mangas reviews this week. I know I'm working on one. I just didn't do recording this week because I honestly last week I was in the mood of, I don't care, I want to relax. I've been doing so many editing and so many videos, which, by the way, Corver, I'll say this again, thank you very much for leaving comments on my videos. And those who do leave comments on my videos, thank you so much, because some of those videos were getting like 90, 91 views, 78 views. And as soon as Corvo and some other people left the comment on my videos, it went from like no views at all and just like skyrocketed. I'm like, oh, like that just shows me how much, one, how much you care and actually want to support my channel, but two, also shows me that like how much it's important I get comments on my videos, or I will not, YouTube will not share my stuff to anyone new. And that's so annoying. It's like, why do I have to have people interacting with it? It's like, you know, Twitch, where you have to have people commenting in your stream, or they're not counting as a viewer out there so long, which I think is still going on. I'm not entirely sure, but why did
I
YouTube
don't know. What I do know is I enjoyed the video, which is why you got multiple comments on the last one, because
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm here. But like I said in my comment, that's also, even though I had played the series up until then, that's the one that hooked me, you know?
Yeah, it had definitely have a lot more details to it, and showed how badass certain characters are that you didn't see in the game. This is a sad story with the dragon. My wife was literally tearing up when that baby dragon, the dragon Link gets friends with and grows up and becomes the evil one. Yeah, teared up when that baby dragon grew up. And that's all I'm gonna say. Everybody, don't want to spoil anybody, but oh my god, she teared up hard on that one. She literally was like crying here and sniffling, and she like look at her like, "What's wrong?" Like, the baby dragon. I'm like, "Oh, don't go there." All right, no. I've read the book. So yeah, and of course I did custom animation on that. The hook shot, the arrows, the boomerang, all of that was custom made. I'm like, I'm going all out with this one, and then. And when the first couple of days of it, I'm like, okay, well, no, YouTube's not sharing my video. And then you left a comment, and some other people left a comment, and it went, like, what the heck? Come on. It felt good to get finally hit 400. So we're finally at 400. I'm thinking about doing, my wife and I.
Actually, you're at 402 now.
Oh, yeah. Yay! But I'm thinking about doing a giveaway, but my wife and I are trying to think of it. If you want to come up with an idea of it too, but I'm thinking about doing, if we hit 1,000 before my birthday, what would I give away? And my wife's like, we give them like one of those Berserk books, the hardcover books. I'm like, yeah, that's not a really like subscribe now. I'm not talking about like Mr. Beast level kind of like subscribe now, we might win a prize. I'm talking about like some cool manga or some like grand prize. I don't know. I would do something and have really get people invested in subscribing to my channel, because a lot of people watching it. I mean, a lot, and a lot of people are liking my videos. Problem is, not many people subscribing. Now it's like I feel like I'm fighting a battle here. It's like and subscribe. Leave a comment, like and subscribe, leave a comment. It's like, do both.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is likes are easy. No, all you gotta do is click a button.
Yes.
Subscribing and leaving a comment, you actually have to type some shit. And people are lazy, even though they like your stuff. They don't want to do anything.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
It's close to the 90 percentage on videos are non-subscribers. It's close to 90%. That is a lot of people.
It, but they don't want to do anything. They just want to watch. You know, and I get it, because a lot of people, two things, a lot of people are listening to it or watching it while they're working. So they don't have time to leave a comment or fill out the subscribe shit. Okay? They can click a button real quick, but they ain't got time to do all the other stuff.
Push a button, but most people don't like want to mouse over to that and push it.
And then you got other people that they've been at work all day. They might be listening to you as a chillax thing, but chillax is kind of like what you said the other day. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to do nothing.
Yeah,
you know?
I don't want to do nothing, and I didn't want to do nothing. Because like you ever seen like those videos where people like show you the editing work of their channel or their video, and you see like 20 layers of different editing things going throughout the entire video? Yeah, that was that last video. I had like 20 layers of like visual, audio, camera and animations and wording. I mean, it was like tons of it. I'm like, if I zoomed out here, people like see why it takes so long to edit a video. I'm going, yeah, this is why I don't like editing a video. That's why I want to become famous so I can buy an editor. That's my first goal. First goal, getting big on YouTube, buy an editor. Someone to edit the videos for me so I can do the fun part and make videos. I can do that all day. That's not a problem for me. It's the editing I'm not looking forward to. So, yeah, anyways, so let's just go ahead and how was your week? I hope you're having a good holidays so far.
It's been very interesting because last week I was off for the entire week. From work. That doesn't mean I didn't work because I did all the other shit like cooking, cleaning, putting up garages and shit like that while I was off. However, I get back to work and it's like the fucking world is on fire, bro.
It always seemed like to be that with you. It's like, did you
I'm
not
like,
have
what
anybody
the hell?
else?
No. Nobody else does what I do where I'm at. I mean, there's people that do what I do at other locations, but at my current location, nobody else does what I do. And then, like this morning, I get up, I get a phone call before I'm even done getting dressed. It's fucking freezing outside, and the door system's not working. People can't get in.
Into
the building, and the alarm's going off.
Oh boy, I bet there's a butt clencher just wondering like what made the alarm go off, right?
So I jump in the car as fast as I can. I get over there. I walk up to the door, and one of the people were like, "Hey, yeah, the door's not working. Key fobs aren't working." And I just look at them and I wave mine in front of the door and it opens. They're like, "What the hell?" I was like, "The alarm's going off. Only certain people have the ability with their fobs to get in if the alarm's off."
So it like locks the doors on the
possibly there's intruder. Like a total of 5 people that can go in this building if the alarm's going off. Everybody else's fob doesn't do that. So I go in, turn the alarm off, walk through everything, come back. All right, come on in, guys. And the problem is we had I think like a power surge to the alarm system.
Okay.
So it caused it to go off, but when it went off, it locked everybody but those 5 people out. And guess who's the only person that lives close enough to go in and open the door? So
that's ridiculous.
I go in, get everything going, and I'm sitting there going, "Are you serious? Like, really? Are you?
Don't you have not security guards or something like that?"
Nah. You're looking at the number 1 person called when disturbances happen.
Okay, well, far from me to tell what the Japanese people how to run their company, since they now own it. So, in America, we have security guards, but I guess you can have a Corvo, it works too.
We haven't had one of those since before I started working there.
Wow, that's been a while.
They had one for a little while. Nothing ever happened. I mean, even the alarm going off, it was always a false alarm. There was never anything happening.
Yeah.
So they were paying somebody for no reason, and I guess at that point they decided that was money they didn't have to spend.
I guess they have like some kind of like remote security guard, maybe just watching all the cameras, because somebody has to be watching those cameras, right?
Nope.
No one's watching the cameras.
The per privacy policy, the cameras are only reviewed if an incident is reported.
Right. Well, I hope there's never a day of espionage.
But I'm also one of the few people that have access to those too. So
yeah, that could kind of help.
Me and one of the guys that is a little higher in the department than me were joking one day. He's like, "You've been here so long, even longer than me, that if you ever left, I don't even know how long it would take me to track down all the shit you have access to and disable it."
Well, I'll be like, I will fuck with them. Like, you better be fast. That's all I'm gonna tell you. You better be fast.
Yeah, I just looked at him. I was like, "Hey, listen, if the day ever comes that I am leaving, or you guys let me go, or I retire, if any of those scenarios happen, you don't have to worry about me because I won't want anything here. There's not shit here that I want.
Yeah,
Okay?
unless someone did something dirty to
I'm
you.
not going to go home and manufacture this stuff in my backyard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to suddenly have the money to compete with you in the market. So ain't shit you got that I want at that point.
Well,
And I'm not the kind of person to just be an asshole vindictive like that. I mean, because if it was a single person and they had pissed me off, yeah, I could probably be an asshole, you know?
Yeah.
But there are people in that building that have families that require them to have that job, that place to be open for them to survive. I'm not that big an asshole. I'm not going to shut down, 600 people's families.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah. So yeah, we've had a pretty plain week that we've been chilling, relaxing. My wife, as you know, her manager is still freaking up where she's already like on her last write up or whatnot because she's closing out stores because she don't have nobody that wants to work with her, but all the rest of the stores are having no problem with getting, the workers she need, and she's wondering what's going on. It's like I told my wife, like, she's gonna be the one regretting all these decisions that she's had, and all the decisions that
herself.
Yeah,
it's you know the old saying, right? Give them enough rope.
Mm-hmm.
The reason nobody said anything is because they're literally giving her enough rope.
Yeah. So I made the jokes like, what if I just applied to be y'all's manager? And in the application of being hired for this place for manager, I'm just stayed in there. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Because I know the guy, he's an ex-military guy. He's an ex-serving military man. And he thinks in the mindset of, you don't question your higher ups, right? That's the usual rule. You don't question your higher ups. Even if they're wrong, you don't question them. You let them be wrong. And that's how my wife got her only and final warning like a few weeks or months back, because my wife questioned the management and he thinks like a military man. You don't question it or you get a reprimand, and a pretty severe one usually if you question higher ups. And I'm going, man, if I was a manager, I'd just tell you what you need to hear, bro. I wouldn't be nice. I'd be all smiles about it, but I'll be laughing, cackling in the back of my skull. And when she gets fired, I don't think it's a bewitched. I don't wish nobody have a hard life, but it's going to be only a matter of time she's fired, and I hope it's sometime soon.
I can't tell you. I'm glad the dude that runs my department didn't like that, because I can't tell you the number of times I've walked in there and be like, no, that's not how we need to do this. That's not the right way. And he'd be like, what you mean? I'd be like, because this does this and causes this and does this. And he's like, oh, shit. Okay. Well, what do we need to do? I'm like, we probably need to do this and this and this and this. And he's like, that's a good idea. That makes sense. Go do it. Because he knows I'm not one of those people to bullshit. If I come in there and tell you, nah, that's not the way we want to do it, there's a fucking reason. You know? I'm not the kind of person to just get up from my desk because I feel like walking into your office and say, hey, you're fucking stupid. If I'm coming in there saying you're stupid, I know the risk. There's a reason I got the fuck up, Yeah,
like you maybe come to you. I don't want to come to you. I want to keep doing my job and not have to be risk or endangerment. I just want to do my job, but you're fucking up that much.
What gets me tickled is when we have time spans where there's like weeks or months where I don't have to do that, he starts getting paranoid. And then he'll start stopping by my desk as he's walking to the bathroom or something, be like, hey, you good? Yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm good. He's like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. He's like, just wondering, I ain't seen you in a little while. I'm like, you'll see me when you need to see me. He's like, I don't want to see you, damn it. Stay at your desk.
Yeah, it's like calling me Baba Yaga because I'm the boogeyman when you see me come through your door.
Dude, you don't know. I have walked into in their cubicles and them just look at me and go, fuck. And I'm like, yep, I'm here. And they're like, shit, what is it? I'm like, I need your machine for a minute. They're like, God damn it.
I'm about to kill all your progression right now and delete. But yeah, this past week we got us a little fire heater thing.
I'm looking at getting one of those,
Mm,
but it's the entertainment version, the entertainment center version
yeah.
to put in the living room. Because I've told you before, in case anybody's watching and hasn't heard this before, our house is weird. So you got the master bedroom who's got a vent.
Yeah.
And then you got the half bath that's off of the master bedroom.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a vent, and they're only like 3 or 4 feet apart when the door's open.
Okay.
So that bedroom will be the hottest room in the winter when you're running the heat, and the coldest room in the summer when you're running the air.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad in the summer because it's cool in the house, but it's just cold in there, and I like to sleep in the cold anyway. But in summer, it's terrible because you'll be comfortable in the rest of the house. But it's like a damn sauna in that room, and I can't sleep like that.
I wonder is like I know like the AC units. I watched some videos on it, and I was like, there's some like AC units are just like they just have the on switch, right? They just on and they blow heat throughout the house, and then you got those shabby little vent covers or vent closer you can close and off and on. The problem is heat and cold is still getting through them, and they're still going through the pipes. There is some out there you can get and install to your AC units. They're literally close the entire valve going to that room and make the energy and force going toward the rooms of your choice.
Like, see, for us, our biggest issue is the fact that we set the temperature, the outside house gets to that temperature and it's comfortable. But because there's 2 vents in that room, that gets double the amount, and it's also the closest room to the unit. So it has less ducting to travel to get to that unit, to get there. So it's just it's either hot or cold in there. And I told her, I was like, we could technically drop the thermostat to where it would be comfortable in the bedroom and be just slightly cool in the house, and then buy one of those, heating units that's in an entertainment center and just replace our entertainment center with it. And when you run it, it would make up the difference, It would balance it out. So I'm thinking about doing that at some point. The problem is the ones like that come with the entertainment center built into it are more expensive than that thing that's behind you.
Yeah. Like I picked this thing up, and I told my wife I could pick this thing up, batter and beat somebody to want it in order to try to kill them with it, and I don't think it would do a lick of damage to them. This thing is so light and so thin of aluminum that I seriously don't think I could hurt somebody with that at all. And it was on sale, so because we're everybody, you should be a bargain seller no matter how rich and famous you are. Always be a bargain seller. So we saw it was on sale, so we jumped on it. It was literally the last unit in our Walmart, and it's I just like the atmosphere, the feel, the vibe of it. It's kind of like that, just being in front of the fire pit. I don't know what it was when I was a kid. I don't know if you call me a pyro or not. I just liked it when it's like, oh, we're lighting the chimney on fire. We're putting wood in the chimney. We're lighting it on fire. And I would just sit in front of it and just. I
love it. I love it. It's a feeling like it's a feeling like no other. That's why I have a fire pit in the backyard, because we don't have a chimney in this house.
Mm-hmm. We don't have one either.
I grew up. My uncle had one. My grandfather had one. So anytime I was at their house and we were lighting a fireplace in the winter, where I sat was at the fireplace.
Mm-hmm.
I have that pit in the back because this is the time of the year. Here shortly, I'll start building fires back there because it'll get good and hot, and I'll sit by that fire and I'll hang out. And I love a fire. Not that I want to sit there and poke it the entire time or squirt fluid on it, make it raise, I just want a nice, constant burning fire, and I want to sit there by the heat knowing that it's cold 2 feet away from me, but I'm warm because I'm by that fire, and be comfortable. I like that when it comes to a house. That's what I love about a fireplace. I promise you, whenever I retire, if I buy a place or build a place that's not here, one of the criteria is that bitch has got to have a fireplace.
Yeah,
got to.
Of course, I wish it had the sound effects, the little crackling, the pops, and all that stuff like that to really get that full atmosphere that a fireplace would come with it. But unfortunately, it doesn't. It just has the lights, intensity, or whatnot in it you can do, and of course the heat. But yeah, we had to jump in this. Our house was built in 1952 or 54, so central heating was not in this place. But yet, for some reason, they also thought chimney was not important because. Well, if there was a chimney in his house, I don't know where it could have been. I have speculations, but no real, definitive proof of where it could have maybe been at one time. Because you go in the attic, you don't see nothing that would give you an idea of a chimney. So yeah, we have to have the kind of stuff in each room, and we only warm up the rooms that we're in, which stays on electric bill, stays on power bill, and even if you do have a house with central heating and air. Unless everybody's in their own rooms all the time, I don't see the reason. It's kind of like you might see keep your lights turned off if you're not in the room kind of situation. I feel the same thing with heat. If you're not in the room, why do you need to warm it up? If you're in the room, it's bedroom. You have the blankets and covers for a reason. Get underneath them. You'll get warm.
Well, see, for us, when you're like us and you got 4 people in the house, you got 2 kids that are in their room most of the time. One of them probably got his computer going and a printer going because that's what he does. The other one's in his room with his computer going. We might be in the living room or in the office, so somebody's spread out through the house everywhere.
Yeah.
And we don't run ours. So a lot of people will drop their temperature in the summer to 68, 69.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We don't do that because I'm married to a Puerto Rican and she'll stomp a mud hole in my ass. The coldest the inside of my house gets in the summer is 72 degrees, which is comfortable. I'm fine with that. Okay. In the winter, the warmest it gets, 74. Because that's a me thing and she's comfortable with that. She knows better.
Yeah.
So we make, so our unit doesn't even run as much as most people's do. So most people jack the heat up in the winter and drop the cold in the summer. We float in that same range all year. So we probably pay 2/3 of what everybody else pays.
But so did your electric bill change that often?
Not really. I mean, the biggest difference throughout the year is when it goes from hot to cold.
Yeah.
Outside, it actually is cheaper for me to heat my house than to cool it.
Yeah, that's the same thing for me. Always been cheaper to heat my house and cool it. We normally say around the $180 per month, but prior to that, before certain things happened in America, our electric bill used to be lower than $100 every month easily because we were always efficient when it comes to power uses in any of our places we lived.
And I'll tell you, another thing that has dropped our power bill is literally these LED lights that I've put around the inside of some of these rooms.
Mm-hmm.
I can leave them on 24 hours a day if I want to, and they don't consume a fraction of what that overhead does.
Yeah, and if any of the bulbs go out, cut the strip that's bad, put the new strips in, solder them in, bam, you're good to go. That's if you're comfortable.
I've got the little clips.
Oh yeah, the little clips too. Yeah, I forgot about that. Make the clips too.
So it saves there. We save because we don't fluctuate more than 2 degrees at any point in the year, on what our settings are. We do pretty good. But that still doesn't mean that there's not a few rooms in the house that do get cooler than the rest of the house in the winter. And that's why I think something like that would help.
Yeah.
Because I think even that would help cut down even more how little we use the unit. It would cut it down even more.
Yeah. Which, by the way, anybody wants to know, there's apps on my phone. I used to just before we bought this one that you can take your camera and size up the room and you get to get the square feeting of your room, and all you gotta look at the unit and see how many square feet it can warm up, and there we go. And that's how we judge whether or not which one we should get. You should really pay attention to that. I don't know how many times I did not pay attention to that because I'm like, okay, it's a heating unit, should be able to heat a room, and I put it in the biggest room, and it's the smallest heating unit there is. I'm kind of go, oh, I'm trying to warm the entire room up. Not that easy. It won't work that great. Make sure you get one that's actually going to be meant for the size of your room that you warm it up.
There's a reason why they say they'll heat up the X amount of square feet because that's what they're capable of doing.
So, but you're like, oh, I don't know how to measure a place. There's an app for that. There's an app. Just look up, measuring tapes for your cameras.
Is this a D&D podcast you talked about
the
yesterday,
D&D
or is this
stream,
something
Apollo,
else?
will happen right after this podcast. We do podcast first where we just talk about whatever shit happened during the week or whatever topics are on our mind. And then we roll straight into D&D live stream right afterwards. You might want to stay tuned for that. That's in about 30 minutes or so. Because I'm not only going to show my dice camera, but I'm also going to show my tower that I printed and finished.
Well, you can just pick it up and put it in front of the camera if you want to show them. But yeah, I got my dice ready to going. We always do it afterwards. This gentleman yesterday, I'll just give a quick short out for everybody's wondering. He showed up during the Dauntless gameplay. You remember Dauntless, right? Remember how I used to play that game? How good I was too? And I have 103 hours. So a lot of the weapons in the game that you and I may have got in the game, they took away. All the weapons just pretty much are gone. And they put a lot of some of the best weapons in the cash store where you have to either earn your weapons by leveling up other weapons that they have remaining, or you buy them. And I'm like, wow, this is the worst. I gotta finish the video for that and release that. So, and then hope we get the Dauntless, and maybe they'll listen, maybe they won't. And afterwards we play some. Apollo. Yeah, and he wants me to play some Paladins. He apparently loves Paladins, and
you know who to talk to. You know what she'll be in for it. She'll be in for it because she just said something the other day. Thought we said we was gonna start doing some team streaming with Grumpy again. We ain't started. I want to play some stuff.
Yeah,
I want to play.
Yeah,
I'm like,
we might have to jump into Paladins because, well, I'm always good for that, and Stealthy, she's always ready to show off her skills in that game. And we're talking about literally like how that game never gets any. Okay, let me ask you this question because I gave the answer to my yesterday. They asked this question to me. I'm gonna ask the question to you in return. What is the reason why you think the game like Paladins didn't get the and recognition as much as games like Marvel's Marvel? I would say versus Marvel, whatever, and the Overwatch and other games like that. Why did Paladins not get that recognition?
You want me to tell you why? Because instead of having things like Marvel characters or characters that might have been slightly based off of known characters, they went and built characters that were just out of their head. I mean, some of their skills might have been based, but I mean, how many people, let's be realistic, outside of people that play Paladins, says, hey, did you catch that Victor play the other night? Who the hell, nobody knows who Victor is.
No.
Nobody knows who Sirius is. Because it's not something anybody's heard of. They ignored it. It goes back to the whole thing of where people flock to what they know.
So brand recognition.
Right. It's all about brand recognition.
Marvel has a huge fan base
Marvel has
and it
a
also
huge
had a lot
fan
more
base, Apollo. You're
sponsoring than
absolutely
Marvel
right.
rivals.
And that's going to help them. It's going to help them. And then you got people like Overwatch who they had the money to pump out enough advertisement that you couldn't help. Everybody had seen it.
Yeah. Well, I will always say, like, even though I played both Paladins and Overwatch had the money to polish it. Overwatch is very polished. It's very refined, and of course, it also has the Blizzard name behind it. Blizzard. It's like you can't.
It's a known brand. Entity. There you go. You're back to fan base.
Yeah. So
I mean, everybody plays. It's like what the hell was it? Shit. We were just talking about it today. Talking about brand names and video game companies, and I'm trying to think of what we were talking about. But you got
what
those
nice
big
is
companies.
I'm pretty sure
Blizzard,
Paladins is still releasing characters and still
Bio,
updating, so it's not likely gonna be abandoned anytime soon.
Everybody knows them.
Mm-hmm.
So when they hear a game is made by them, they go and look. Even if they didn't see the advertisement, they're gonna go look at it at least.
Yeah.
Whereas when Paladins came out, nobody knew who the fuck those people were.
No.
Had no clue.
Was it High Rise? I forget the name who made the game.
High Rise, I know the original developers were in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know, and I think High Res had something to do with it. I'm not 100%. Like I said, it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody knew who they were.
No.
They didn't have the money to do a whole lot of advertisement.
No.
So it kind of became one of those things like if you knew about it and you played it, you loved it.
Mm-hmm.
But you had to know about it, or you had to know somebody that knew about it to even know about it.
I don't know which one I have a love-hate relationship with more, if it's Paladins or Overwatch, but I do know when I can play Paladins, I definitely have that love-hate relationship with certain characters and certain maps and certain things. It's like, God dang,
there's certain maps. There's certain maps that when you even see them, you're just like, oh man, not this fucking map, really?
Yeah,
you know,
I was like,
and then it's like Stealthy with PUBG.
Mm.
When PUBG originally dropped, she loved playing that game because it was originally not a PvP game. It was a group survival game.
Yeah.
And you got in with a fire team and you survived the fucking waves upon waves of shit. When it went more PvP, that's when she was like, I'm done. I don't want to do this.
PUBG or Fortnite? 'Cause that sounds like Fortnite too. Fortnite used to be that survival
it's
game.
It's still definitely possible to make original characters
like
and games exciting, but it definitely requires a lot of work, depth, and money for the character.
From a fucking plane. She started watching. That was before she even started streaming. She was watching Man Pawns.
Okay.
Play it, and Man Pawns got her into playing it. And then it turned into a PvP thing, and she wasn't happy with it.
Okay. But yeah, I know Paladin's still releasing new stuff. Overwatch 2 is pretty much Overwatch 1 with new characters.
Agreed, Apollo. You definitely, it is, you are capable of creating brand new characters and making them exciting, but it does take money to market that shit for people to see it before they'll look at it. I mean, it comes back down to like when you're looking at, you think about it like when you're looking at picking up a new book to read, a new manga to read, a new movie to read. Do you always go to the originals, the stuff that you've never heard of? Or do you tend to kind of lean towards that shit you've watched, you know you're going to probably like it? Hey, I watched John Wick 1. I think I'm going to pick John Wick 2 over this movie I've never even heard of. It's about fan base. It's about what you're comfortable with. It's what you know.
Yeah, comfort. That's what I always say. With Paladins, I feel like in order to them to really jump in the limelight right now, in the mainstream light, they would literally, in my opinion, of course I could be wrong, I would feel like they would need to not get rid of the skeleton of their game, right? What makes Paladin, but they would need to rebuild on top of that skeleton skins, the look of the game, the graphics, the even some of the styles and look of characters, like not just like just making a new 4K looking character. No, like some characters look very cartoonish, and compared to some of the other characters later on, they look a little bit more detailed, right?
Well, and that happens sometimes. When you go from not having a whole lot of money to slowly starting to build some money, your newer shit starts looking better than your older shit. The problem is trying to find time once you have that bank, to go back and revamp that old stuff.
Yeah.
Because you still have to continue to turn out new stuff to pacify the people out there that's playing.
Yeah. It's like World of Warcraft, where it was like the old graphics, people really love that old school style, but over the years they started upgrading the graphics of it and people really liked it too. But if they just take the new graphics and throw it in the old style of the game, it could feel weird, right? Like it doesn't feel like the classic World of Warcraft. And that one might be for the same way the Paladins. Like people have that, initial thoughts, like I like this look and style of the game, and the developers going, well, why even change it? Well, if you want to get yourself in the limelight, the new light, you might have to make that change.
Right, I agree, because I'm very much one of those people. I'll tell you right now, I love Night Elves. I love the way Night Elves looked originally in World of Warcraft. It's my favorite fucking race. I loved them.
Mm-hmm.
Are there characters that races they've created since then that have more finer, refined details and stuff, and they look good? Yes, but I love the way a Night Elf looks. So chances are, 90% of the time, if I'm going to create a character in World of Warcraft, I'm going to hunt down Night Elf.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way I am, because it's, again, comfortable. I like it. Something I know.
Appeals to you.
It appeals to me.
Mm-hmm. And of course, in order to do that, they're going to be fighting against other games like Overwatch, because they're still competing against Overwatch, and then now Marvel Rivals. That's just a market that is it's not saturated, because it's only 2 other games. I think saturated needs qualification of 5 or more. But you are fighting against these multi-million-dollar companies that are still able to pump out, even if High Rise decided to say, let's dump a lot of money into it.
Making a game is like playing Jenga. The more you build the tower, the riskier it becomes to continue, and if one part isn't
You're
in
absolutely
the right
right,
place,
Apollo.
all that work
Building
is gone.
a game is like playing Jenga. It gets taller and taller and better, but there's always that chance somebody pulls out the bottom block and everything tumbles down.
Yeah.
I mean,
Warcraft is in that situation right now in retail. They call it retail. But totally that way. As more years go by, the more things that change, the more things are being implemented. It's like League of Legends. I said it last night to him as well, where League of Legends, there's so many characters in the game. It's so saturated with so many characters that are just so much better than some of the older characters, and they had to revamp a lot of old characters to bring them to modern day to be able to compete. And it's just so hard to try to, keep that balance when you have literally hundreds of characters. And then imagine having hundreds of or tens of 20 years of a single game that's been the same for the past 10, 20 years. It's eventually, there's going to be some cracks showing, and you got to fill in those cracks. But it's better just start from a new foundation of mortar and clay.
I think a good way to look at it is, as a game progresses and it gets older and you start getting more traction, and you still have to keep putting new stuff out with better technology to make people happy, you still need to revamp the old stuff, but you have to find a way to balance between putting out new and revamping the old. I know that there was a company, and I can't remember the name of it right now, but that company did a really good job handling that, because what they did was, as they got to the point where they could see, hey, we need to revamp the older stuff, but we need to keep turning out new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They started doing some contract work and having some contractors come in. All right, you're contracted to revamp this one character, this one thing. When you're done, you're done. And that's the way they kept making forward-moving progress, at the same time making progress on keeping their older characters up to date. It cost them a little bit, but honestly, unfortunately, contract work tends to come cheaper than a full-on employee with benefits and everything else.
Years of experience.
Yeah, so you kind of have to do what you have to do. Now, at the same time, there's another company out there that literally went and split their team. So what they did is they got to a point where, okay, we have to continue to put out new stuff, but we also need to revamp the old stuff. They went in there and said, all right, team, now we're going to split you in half. Half of you guys are going to continue to turn out new content with the new stuff, with the new tech, keep it looking good, keep us up to date. Other half, your job is to go back to those older characters and start with the oldest one and work your way forward to catch them up to where that team is.
Yeah.
And
it kind of reminds me of like D&D. We can kind of talk about that, where 5e was their most popular one, and they changed a lot of things to progress that book into little changes here and there, but they listened to player feedback and then implemented those player feedbacks into the next book and changing a few things. I don't know about the new one, but they took things like monks, they changed that, druids, they changed that, and that's going to make the game better. You always want to progress that, and you can do that in small increments rather than the whole new book.
Some changes to warlocks, made some changes to a bunch of different things. They made some rule changes. They made some ability
the reason
changes
why they
where,
brought back Fortnite is to add a few more blocks
certain
at the
abilities
bottom
that
to
had
make it a little more stable and easier to continue. It's why a lot of games do odd stuff.
Eldritch Spear in 5e could be applied to Eldritch Blast.
Yeah.
Which is a cantrip, which allowed you to use that skill up to 300 feet. In the new book, Eldritch Spear can apply to any distance cantrip that a warlock has. So it doesn't matter which one it is. So now all those cantrips can reach 300 feet on a warlock if it's a distance one, as long as you take Eldritch Spear. So they're steadily making changes based on what they hear from the end players. And that's a good thing. It's nice to know that when we speak, granted, not everything we say is right for the game. Because just because we think it'll make the game better doesn't mean it will. We don't know the scope of everything. We just don't. However, the fact that they listened to us and they did make some changes because some of it did make sense makes me feel better about playing the game.
Yeah. Like, I want to have more fun, but I don't want to be overpowered because the game is a challenge. And when it comes to the original OG of Fortnite, I know they just brought that back. I think companies need to do that more often, honestly. And here's my reason why. Corvo, you can agree with me or not agree with me. I think games should go back to their foundation, just like World of Warcraft with classic Warcraft, is to remind themselves why their game was so popular in the first place. And remind the players, like, hey, this is what Fortnite used to be like, and this is all the things that it came with, and what in modern day Fortnite is like. And, you know, the fans saying, hey, we want the old school back. Here it is. Here it is, guys. Have fun. We're not going to stop you, and you can still keep all your cool stuff from the beginning of the game or at your current day of the game.
You can look at players themselves for a trend on that. I mean, how many times have you went back when you're playing a game series, okay, whether it be Legend of Zelda or Star Tropics or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You went back, you've played the newest one, but you want to remember why you got in the game hardcore, and you go back and play that first one. Even though the graphics ain't the greatest, but you play it. The reason you did that was to remind yourself, this is why I play this game.
Yeah.
I am in the situation right now where one of the games that I want to do that with is literally offered in the PSN store. I just don't have it. But I would love to go back and purchase Legacy of Kain to remind myself why I even started down the path of Legacy of Kain and Soul Reaver.
Here's a thought. Do you think some games, like Warcraft, a lot of people have been asking for this. They want Warcraft Classic Plus. And this is what their description of Warcraft Plus. They want the Warcraft original with all the original stuff in it. And they want the developers to start adding the nice features and start fresh from there. It's not like you're not starting the game, not ending the game entirely. They just want people to stop working on retail at all. Stop working on retail. Take the original World of Warcraft Classic and start adding nice features and start from there building up the franchise again. All the way from the beginning of Warcraft Classic. And you think games should do that? Like, hey, like let's say you're already 10 years in the game and now people not liking the current day landscape of the game. but they still love the original, then you think the developers should go and just go, whoop?
Then go back and give them some of the things they're asking for.
Mm-hmm.
Build it slowly, and you may end up finding out that by the time you get back to where you left off, they're all in.
Yeah. It just, and of course, Fortnite is a weird tale here because Fortnite it's very complicated in its original form with all the building and people building a skyscraper within 10 seconds nowadays because so many people are so good at moving the mouse around, building everything up to the sky and then shooting the people down below. It could be very complicated in that way, but at the same time it's very simple because that's all it was. Just pretty much get your guns, build a skyscraper and shoot. Well, nowadays it's all these new abilities and weapons and different levels of guns, which legendaries I think always might have been a thing. I don't know. I didn't play Fortnite very very long. I just played it to get the Dragon Ball Z thing because that's all I wanted. But then with Warcraft Classic, yes, it was simpler in the gameplay mechanics, but all the abilities, you got so many abilities back in the Warcraft Classic that modern day does not have. They simplified a lot of the abilities, but a lot of people like that complexity of all those weird wonky abilities that you used to have in Warcraft Classic. But the gameplay was still simple, right? It was still very simple, and add-ons started becoming a thing, and that all those layers of add-ons and abilities, and it got bloated. But like, hey, people just want their classic back, and I think if they started building from there, like if they ramped up classic to modern day graphics and just went, okay, retail gone, we're building it all from fresh again. That means we're gonna go all the way through the Illidan, and then gonna go through all the way through the Lich King. And we're gonna do that, but we're gonna do it in a whole new style, whole new way of telling the story. We're gonna still keep the foundation of the story, but we're gonna build up from there and change how the fundamentals of the games will end up by the time we get to that point, and see if we can revamp the whole series of Warcraft all over again. What does to lose? You already lost a lot of other fan base and other franchises in Blizzard's scenario. Why not just start from game? You have the money for it.
Bethesda was the other big game company I was trying to remember a while ago.
Okay.
I mean,
so I think that'd be great, and I think they should do it. I think a lot of companies should, at this point, right now, being that how our landscape is already changing so rapidly, and it's not even been but a few weeks since in America that certain people won the Legacy. We're not going there, but we don't talk about political stuff here. But like right now, I think it's a good time to really sit down and going, what is your game about? What's the audience you're trying to hit? Aim for the audience.
We got incoming, so
Gotcha.
I'm gonna have to mute for a minute.
All right. But I think people should aim to bring back their franchise, really get in touch with your customers again and stop ignoring them. Oh, Bethesda really needs to drop 76 and remake Fallout 3 or make Fallout 5. Yeah, I love the Fallout series. My wife used to love when I used to play Fallout was it Fallout 4? I think Fallout 4. She loved me watching me play that game. And I had a lot of blasts. And I didn't stream it. I didn't stream it at all. I just played it on weeks on end because it was just so much fun. Kids coming through, go on by. Kids, and then Stealthy. She's coming in hot. There she is. Don't worry, you'll see a lot more of her. You'll see a lot more of her later on during the D&D stream. Okay, so this is one last thing I want to chit chat about. I thought it was kind of funny, and I don't know if we talked about this before. Did I tell you about what's coming back into stores recently that I thought was a bit of a funny moment to me?
No, I'm not sure if you did or if you didn't.
Okay, so this past week, several stores, and I know you don't have a problem with it, but I know that y'all's household is a little bit different. So several stores are now bringing back Merry Christmas into their stores, into the front of their stores, said Happy Holidays. And I thought that was kind of funny. And in regards of how long they were always being like, oh, we can't have, you know, the C word in our holidays. Get rid of it. This Merry Holidays or Happy Holidays. And now they brought back Merry Christmas into stores, and no one's batting an eye, no one's saying a thing. But I'm going, oh my god, you're such hypocrites. I love it. I just it's like we care about everybody. No, the fuck you don't. No, the fuck you don't. You fucking dingleberries. You know, I would so put those in my beard if I had those.
Yep.
Those actually meant for beards, or just stealthy, just having fun with it?
They are legitimately
hair clips.
Yeah, looks about right by me. Man, when did I become a ginger?
Bro, I'm gonna bring them. I'll bring them for you for the trip.
It actually makes you look. You have like a bigger beard. I'm not gonna lie, it has that effect going on. Like your beard's been longer. But yeah, I don't know. I thought that funny. And again, it just shows the cow companies always said they cared about people and they worried about people and they wouldn't hurt nobody's feelings. And then, you know, these change and then like they just switch sides at a drop of a hat, trying to cater to certain people again. It's like, man, stick to your morals, fuckers. If you say something, think something, you better do it. You better not knock off my tablet, damn it.
Yeah. I mean, I get that. In case you're wondering, this is part of my outfit for my holiday party tomorrow night.
Which, are you excited? Not this week, next week, right? You go on your vacation.
The holiday party for work is tomorrow night. Next weekend is there will be no stream because we'll be 3 of us, including the DM, will be in Orlando.
Yeah, except for me. I will be here. I will be here doing something. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to do something. Then in January, we'll definitely not be here because I'll be with them. But yes, we'll be going live within the hour. Thank you for joining today. Lovely to see you here, Lambino. Lovely to see that you get to join us. And of course, thank you to our newest follower and hopefully long returning Alpolo. Apollo. Okay. You can't say my name. Dyslexia. So I will see y'all later. And
remember, guys, within the hour, so sometime between now and 8 Eastern, 7 Central, we'll be going live with the D&D stream.
Yeah, so be ready. Stay here. Stay tuned. You'll see the live stream. If you're on my Twitch channel, you'll see it there. If you haven't hit the follow and subscribe button, I would appreciate it. And I'll see you as always. Have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good life. Much love, y'all. Bye.
Bye, guys.
His jokes are sometimes crude and sometimes ass. With his wife of 15 years, there's always having his back. Even when his dogs and cats are being a pain in the ass, he hopes this will always last. Even bring the fun to the masses, rolling, dueling, beating every dungeon classes. With his goofy faces and voice all over the places, he hopes to never give up on his dreams, to bring joy and even the